In the not-so-distant future, an alien invasion occurs, during which the souls of extraterrestrials inhabit the bodies of nearly all people on Earth. They begin to construct a society where everyone is honest and benevolent. However, there are Earthlings who do not approve of these actions, and seeking liberation, they organize resistance.
I asked you here so no one would shout. I knew I had to give Melanie back to herself.
On Earth, a time comes when cruelty, hunger, and violence become a thing of the past. Kindness and harmony prevail everywhere. People have become honest and compassionate. Yet, it's not truly people anymore, as the Earth's population has been subjugated by space aliens calling themselves the Souls, occupying the bodies of humans. Those under the control of the Souls have silver-rimmed pupils in their eyes, and now the vast majority have become submissive, emotionless beings. But there are those who refuse to accept the alien parasite. Melanie Strider is one of them. However, at one point she falls into the hands of the aliens, and in order to avoid becoming a host for another soul, she jumps from a high place. The aliens regret the loss of such a beautiful body when one of them, known as the Seeker, notices movement in Melanie's finger. They bring her to a healer. Astonished by the resilience of her body, he heals her and implants a newly arrived soul, who requests to be called the Wanderer, as she's visited many planets. The next day, the girl fully regains consciousness, and it is revealed that Melanie's own soul did not die and still resides within her body. While the Seeker explains the situation on the planet and the need to identify and eliminate pockets of resistance, Melanie desperately tries to suppress the Wanderer's soul and resist her. However, the alien eventually prevails, and soon the Wanderer informs the Seekers that the girl's name was Melanie Strider. Her family managed to evade the initial wave of invasion, but her father was forced to take his own life to avoid falling into the hands of the invaders. Since then, she has been wandering with... At this point, Melanie vehemently protests, asking not to be referred to by name, but the alien insists, Jeremy Strider, the younger brother of the girl. Later, the Wanderer becomes acquainted with life on Earth, trying to persuade Melanie not to resist, as they are not destroying the planet, but improving it, making people's lives happier. But for Melanie, they are all murderers. She recalls how she entered someone's house, where a boy caught her, and was so delighted that she remained human that he kissed her. She ran away at that moment, but Jared caught up with her, and upon learning that she had a little brother with her, invited them to his home. The Wanderer dreams all of this and wakes up, not understanding what happened to Melanie when she was close to Jared. However, a human snatches the pencil from her hand when she is drawing a portrait of the boy. Nevertheless, the alien displays the portrait of Jared and tells the Seekers that Melanie and Jeremy settled in his home and lived happily together for some time. The Wanderer experiences the sensations from the girl's memories, and the Seeker realizes that a battle of two minds is taking place within her head. The Wanderer recounts that soon, the Seekers reached that house as well, and at that time people gathered to move to a safe place. However, before that, Jared went to gather supplies, leaving Melanie and her brother in an abandoned hotel, where the Seekers captured her. At this point, the Wanderer sees the silhouettes of unusual mountains and draws them on paper, despite Melanie's desperate pleas to erase them and not reveal the location of the people. The Wanderer tears the paper and puts it in her pocket since there's no trash bin in the room. The Seeker continues her interrogations, but the Wanderer doesn't reveal anything new. Gradually, she starts listening to Melanie and attempts to conceal her visions from the Seeker. The Seeker delights her by saying that they've seen Jared and will find him soon. And here Melanie gains the upper hand over the alien and lunges at the Seeker. However, the Seeker immobilizes the girl with a special gas. Later, she's informed that her soul will be transferred to a more compliant body tomorrow, and the Seeker will take her place, quickly extracting information about Melanie's friends. The Wanderer tries to find out where her healer is now, and she's told that he has been relocated to another place. Melanie takes command, instructing what needs to be done, and the alien escapes from the clinic. She asks a passing man to borrow his car, and he gladly hands it over, as the aliens don't know how to lie and are always ready to help each other. The alien intends to go to her healer's new place of service, but Melanie leads her on a different route, while the Seeker searches her room and finds the crumpled paper. Meanwhile, the Wanderer once again becomes a witness to Melanie's memories of Jared and feels sadness. Suddenly, she spots a familiar mountain range and realizes that Melanie has led her in the wrong direction. She's outraged because she tried to help, but humans don't always follow logic. The Wanderer attempts to turn around, but Melanie doesn't allow her. The car loses control and veers off the road. The girl gets out onto the road, and Melanie orders her to leave this place as they will soon come looking for her. Meanwhile, the Seeker discovers the mountains from the drawing. As the girl walks through the desert, she loses her strength, while the Seeker finds her wrecked car. However, the girl's uncle finds her. He gives her water, but when she opens her eyes, the people immediately realize she's not human. One of the guys prepares to kill her, and even her own aunt slaps her, but her uncle intervenes, taking her away to safety, despite the protests of the others. They are in a cave complex where many survivors hide, and there, Melanie sees Jared, but he strikes her in the face, unwilling to accept the alien in the body of his beloved. However, the girl has another defender, her brother. The weakened girl is brought into an underground room and left under guard. Melanie apologizes to the Wanderer, as Earthlings don't believe that they both inhabit the same body and are likely to kill them. Soon, a group of boys arrives to deal with the dangerous intruder, who might lead the Seekers to them, and when they are ready to strangle her, a gunshot rings out, and Uncle Jeb comes to the rescue. He warns them one last time that the girl is under his protection, and he will undoubtedly shoot anyone who touches her. Contact with an alien has never happened before, so he intends to get to the bottom of it. Meanwhile, the aliens abandon their search, all except the Seeker. At this moment, Jeremy approaches the girl to inquire about Melanie. However, she doesn't reveal much to him, just her name. Jared drives the boy away, but unexpectedly, Ian O'Shea, who believes that people should remain human, takes the Wanderer's side. Later, Uncle Jeb takes the Wanderer on a tour of the underground. It's a unique place completely hidden from the outside. He admits he overheard their conversation with Jeremy and suggests shortening her name to Wanda. The settlers obtain energy from the sun, water, and a dormant volcano. The man shows a dangerous place where the water disappears underground and asks to be careful. While Wanda takes a bath, the boys prepare for a dangerous trip to the city, unaware that the Seeker has called a helicopter and is flying over the mountain ridge. Uncle Jeb shows Wanda a unique field of wheat that ripens thanks to a system of mirrors that delivers sunlight underground. Jeb can't fathom Wanda's intentions and is sure that people won't give up without a fight, especially Melanie. The man ponders deeply, and he's not the only one, as Jeremy has been watching them the whole time. But at that moment, the roar of the helicopter engine is heard, and Jeb rushes to the mirror system's shut-off. Everyone, including Wanda, rushes to help. The Seeker sees a glimmer but quickly disappears, and the pilot assures that there's no one below. The helicopter flies away, but the people are convinced that the aliens will return. Jeb entrusts Jeremy with guarding Wanda, but the boy takes her to a special cave to look at the stars. Wanda is enchanted, as she has never seen these constellations before. The boy confesses that they are fireflies, which are afraid of noise. He comes here when he misses the open sky. The boy asks her to tell him the truth, whether Melanie is still alive. Wanda can't hold back and admits it, but asks not to tell anyone for now. Meanwhile, the team sent to the city load the cars with supplies and head back, just as Jeb invites everyone to help with the harvest. Melanie notices Ian glancing in her direction and asks Wanda not to get distracted by the boy. However, he offers her water and shows signs of attention. At that moment, Jeremy injures himself with a sickle and a helicopter appears in the sky. People close the mirrors, but the Seekers notice the cars on the road and intercept one of the supply groups. During the ensuing chase, two boys, unwilling to surrender, steer their truck into concrete blocks and crash. The other vehicles continue, but they also attract the attention of the Seeker. Meanwhile, Wanda tells the humans about interstellar travels. She tries to convince them that the aliens bring goodness and peace to the planets, and that harmony is very important to them. On the road, the Seeker's car catches up with Jared's truck. The boys start shooting, and they position the truck in a way that causes the pursuer's car to crash into it. The Seeker accidentally kills another soul, causing the rest to cease their search. Meanwhile, Wanda admits that she is over 1,000 years old, and although she has been to many places, Earth is the most beautiful. But then the returning boys again attempt to kill the alien. Jeremy slips up, saying that Melanie is inside and can feel everything. Jeb says he believes in it too. Jared leaves, but Ian offers Wanda to stay in his room, with the condition that he will protect her. He tells her that he believes in her, and she confesses that it's a bit challenging to coexist in the same body. That night, Jared dreams of Melanie and goes to Ian's room. He wants to believe that Melanie is still there, but Wanda is afraid to admit it. Then he kisses her, and she slaps him. That convinces him that Melanie is indeed still there. The girl escapes to the underground river, where Kyle finds her and tries to kill the detested alien. Wanda pushes him into the water, but grabs his hand at the last moment and calls for help. They are assisted, and although she doesn't confess to what really happened, Jeb understands it and orders Kyle not even to look in her direction. Later, Jared and Kyle go to the city, and Ian leads Wanda outside, where he confesses his affection. Melanie rages inside, but Wanda admits that even though Melanie's body is forced to love Jared, she has her own feelings, and they kiss. The Wanderer is convinced that the guy loves the body and that if he held her, he would crush her with disgust. However, Kyle disproves this. Wanda goes to the infirmary where she learns that the doctor is experimenting with ways to remove souls from Earthlings, resulting in the death of both. She is shocked and runs away, unwilling to talk to the monsters. The girl refuses to eat until Jeb comes to her. He reminds her that this is their world and they want it back. Wanda understands this, but they are doing everything wrong because there are ways to lure the souls out. But then she learns that Jeremy is getting worse. Wanda rushes to the infirmary, trying to reach Melanie, who has been silent for 3 days. She asks Ian to kiss her, hoping that Melanie will start resisting, but nothing happens. Then Ian brings Jared because the last time his kiss triggered the most intense response. And the method works. Learning about Jeremy's illness, Melanie asks Wanda for help, and she goes to the hospital. She cuts her hand and forehead and asks for assistance. The girl observes which medications the doctor uses and manages to steal what's needed. However, on the way out, she comes across a capsule used to store souls. When she returns to the cave, she heals the boy. Now Wanda goes shopping for supplies with the humans, and everything goes smoothly. But one day, while returning to the caves, they fall into an ambush, set up by the Seeker. However, she is immediately shot by Jeb. They provide her with assistance, and Wanda goes to talk to her because she doesn't understand why the Seeker is so determined to pursue her. The Seeker assures her that a weak soul is very harmful to the collective cause, and promises that other Seekers will find and kill everyone in the underground. So, Wanda suggests showing Doc how to properly remove souls, on the condition that he will later remove her from Melanie's body and kill her. Doc reluctantly agrees. Wanda asks to release the extracted souls, as they can no longer return to Earth. She performs a demonstration on the Seeker's body and removes the soul from her. The girl asks Ian to hold her before placing it in a capsule, and he admires the unearthly being. Meanwhile, the woman on the table regains consciousness, tears in her eyes, and confesses that her name is Lacey. She had been trying to convey to those around her that her human soul is alive and fighting against the invader for many years. That's why she was so reluctant to release Melanie. Wanda sends the soul to the farthest planet and confesses to the people that she wants to leave forever because she has grown to love everyone around her and now understands how much they need Melanie. Ian confesses his love to her, and Wanda jokes that Melanie left so she could kiss him goodbye. Later, she confesses to Doc that she's tired of many lives she has lived and finds it too painful to leave everyone behind. She confesses her love to Melanie, calling her a sister, and Melanie says that she is the purest soul in the entire universe. Time passes, and one day Wanda hears her name. She opens her eyes and sees dear people around her, including Melanie. It turns out that humans have learned how to extract souls, but sometimes human bodies don't come back to life. They placed her soul into such a body, saving it from physical death. Now, with her own body, Wanda can be with Ian, while Melanie reunites with Jared. Several months later, Wanda, Melanie, Ian, and Jared are taken captive, and when it seems like there is no way out, it turns out they were detained by humans, including a Seeker who, like Wanda, has joined the human side.